Tony D and Little Joan in the background, and this is a screenwriter's take on The Conjuring, Last Rites, about a family that fights the supernatural, and this is the fourth and last installment, we think. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Thanks for checking out the Pineys. Books 1 through 18, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. It's a very dark movie, and I mean that in the coloring palette. So, I didn't see the first three Conjuring movies. I don't think I really need to see the first three Conjuring movies, but that's just me. So let's go over the non-spoiler review and then the spoiler review, okay? So first, the non-spoiler review, it was okay. I mean, as a ghost movie, possession movie, all those things, it's a little busy. A lot of, I think there are a few callbacks to the previous movies that I kind of got because of the context of the callback. So, for instance, the Annabelle doll shows up. You see a picture of the evil nun. I'm not sure what the third movie or the second movie was about. I know the first. I think the first one's the Annabelle one, right? I don't remember, but it's fine. And then they have a big trophy room full of evil cursed items like the Friday the 13th show. Only they're not selling them or trying to get them back. I forget the premise of that show. And so a lot of the movie is spent on the relationship between the husband and wife, and then the daughter and her boyfriend, which is fine. And then it kind of keeps cutting back and forth between them and another family that's being haunted. And eventually our heroes get pulled in, but it takes a long time. It feels like it takes forever for them to get involved, which is a little much. I feel like the movie felt long. I'm not sure how many minutes it was, but it felt long. In not the worst way possible, in that like it was long because it was boring, but it was just like a lot of stuff I didn't necessarily want to see. Was it scary? Not for me. I feel like too much of the movie is contrived. You know, this is based on a true story, but obviously some of the big scenes were like, yeah, that didn't happen. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that, I don't think that happened. I mean, maybe it did. So I wasn't particularly scared in this movie. The ending is fine. It's okay. I'd give it like a 6 or 7, maybe 6.5. It's perfectly functional horror movie if you don't want to be super scared. There's a couple of scary jump cut scenes, sort of, but you feel a little disconnected from it because you don't really get the whole background of what the ghosts are about. They seem almost secondary to the story in some aspects. So that would be my biggest complaint. But other than that, it's perfectly fine. Combines a lot of elements. So, yeah. I mean, if you saw the first three, I'm sure you'll like it. If you haven't seen the other three, I don't know. How much do you like these movies? Go see the other three, I guess, and then see this. I mean, it pretty much stands up on its own. All right, now let's get into the spoilers. So, first act really is a long wind-up because what you're doing is you're cutting between our heroes, the family who has retired from ghost busting, and the family that's being attacked by ghosts in their house. But it's never clear why they're being attacked by ghosts. It starts because they buy this mirror, right? So this evil mirror they purchase, and then it's a mirror that the two main characters encountered when their daughter was being born, right? They were on a case, and the woman was very pregnant, and why they would fight ghosts then seems weird, but they did. And then, of course, the baby comes, and there's a big scene where he rushes to the hospital, and then the baby almost dies, but then the baby's fine, and it's a miracle. But then it cuts to years later, like 22 years later, and somehow the mirror gets this completely different family. So I assume the Warrens, that's their name, abandon the ghost busting they were doing when they were at this antique shop and encountered the mirror the first time. And then they explain that, like, late in the third act. They're like, oh yeah, we never went back to the antique store because we felt it was bad. We don't know what happened to that woman. I guess she died. Like, what the hell, man? Like, the whole movie, they're like, well, we gotta help people. Oh, we're retired, though. We'd love to help you, but we're retired. And then they get pulled back in because they feel that they have to help people. Man, they didn't feel like they had to help that antique dealer. Screw her. But there's no connection between the mirror, the ghost in the house that they eventually go to bust, and the family. There's like no connection. They just buy this random mirror, and it's terribly evil, and the spirits. So, like, there's an implication at some point. One of the Warrens explains something like, oh, there's an entity behind the spirits. So there's some spirits, and they weren't really bothering anybody. Just, an insane farmer who killed his wife and her elderly mother. That's all. And another entity that is using those spirits and directing them to haunt the family, and then eventually they have to, fight the mirror. Now, there's a big scene where they fight the mirror, but it's not very clear what actually destroys the mirror at the end. And the second act is mostly the wind-up of the Warrens finally coming out of retirement after their friend, a priest, hangs himself because the demon drives him insane, I guess. And then they have to come out of retirement. But even then, they're not doing it. They're only there to retrieve their daughter, who feels that she has to do something. And then they kind of get sucked into it and decide, okay, now we're going to help you. It's like, takes a lot to get the Warrens out of retirement. And then Ed Warren has a heart condition, so there's, of course, a scene where he has to take a pill because he's having a heart attack because the ghost made him have a heart attack. And he drops the pills, like, all over the steps. And there's a long back and forth cut, and they finally get back to Ed, or he finds one pill. Like, nobody helps him. And there are other characters in the house that could have, like, oh my God, he dropped his pills. Here, take a pill. Nope, he has it. He finally gets the pill, and at that moment, one of the other characters runs up to him, and I was like, why don't you give the man his pills? So there's a lot of weird sort of blocking things, and like most of the movie takes place in this random house in Pennsylvania where the haunting is happening. And eventually, after a lot of work, they battle the entities in the mirror, and they just basically push on them until they scream and go away. So it kind of didn't make much sense to me. Was it exciting? Yeah, it was exciting, I guess. I thought the whole explanation would be given to us at some point in the movie, and I really didn't get a satisfying explanation. So I wouldn't really recommend the movie. I mean, it's fine for its bells and whistles and its monsters, but yeah, it kind of just ends. And then it wraps with, the daughter getting married to the kid who's finally accepted in the family because he helped them destroy the evil mirror. So, I mean, as a screenwriter, I think the whole screenplay is stupid. It's got a lot of fat on it and really needs to be trimmed off. You know, there's even a scene where Annabelle briefly comes back, and it's like, oh, is she partly responsible? No, no, she's not. So I don't know why they brought her back. If you're gonna, like, to me, I thought the movie was gonna be like someone breaks into the Warrens' museum of the cursed objects and then like steals everything and sets loose all the ghosts. You know, like at the end of Ghostbusters, right? Oh my God, the cursed items! Someone touched them and they're all possessed. We have to get them all back, or else I don't know. The world's gonna end. But no, it was like this new thing that I didn't quite understand, and it took place in 1986, and in the end they beat it, and I just thought, okay, that was a long movie for an ending that was like, here you go. Here's your ending. Yeah, we wasted a lot of your time. I think it's time to be over the franchise. Everything's happy at the end. I mean, I like that part of it. I can't help but like a happy ending. I really do like happy endings with characters that I at least mildly thought was sort of rooting for. So, and they had an interesting way of giving you the final wrap up to the Warrens, where the Warrens are dancing and the wife is like, oh, I have a vision of the future. And she basically lays out the future for the Warrens and how it was pretty nice. And then they tell you how they passed on, which I don't even know if we needed. I really was just like, what about the house in the mirror? Did you ever find out about that? Did you ever find out what happened to that antique dealer? Like, was any of this real? And some of it, you know, like the priest dying in the beginning, yeah, that didn't feel real at all. That felt very sort of like, oh, we're going to do something cool for the movie. So, yeah, I mean, if you like these movies, you'll be fine with it. If you don't like these movies, I don't know why you're watching it. So, screenplay-wise, I would give it like a 4. The execution was good and the cast is good. So, I don't know. I kind of found it entertaining. I mean, I like monsters and stuff like this, but I didn't find it scary at all. But that's just me. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on the green site, the orange site, and the black site for more videos. I will be at East Hampton, New Jersey. That's Smithville Park. Not the other Smithville and not the other Smithville, but historic Smithville Park in East Hampton, New Jersey. You have to get all that in order to find this place. They're doing an outdoor event called Autumn Lands. It'll be a bit chilly, but it should be a nice day. There'll be vendors. This is from 1 to 6 in the park, and there's going to be a lot of stuff for the kids. So I'll be there. Hope to see you there, and we'll see you in the next one.